In 1976, a man named Chan Patel walked into a failing motel in San Antonio with $200 in his pocket and a vision nobody else could see. The previous owner was desperate to sell. The building smelled like mildew and broken dreams. Chan bought it anyway. He moved his entire family into the manager's office, turned the front desk into their kitchen, and worked 18-hour days without a single day off for 3 years. Today, families with his last name own 40% of every hotel in America, including the one you probably stayed at last weekend. This isn't just a success story, it's the invisible empire that rewrote what power looks like in Texas. While oil tycoons were building glass towers with their names in gold letters, Indian families were buying the unsexy businesses everyone else ignored. The roadside motels, the struggling healthcare companies, the boring software nobody understood. They didn't seek headlines or magazine covers. They built networks in temple basements and living rooms, created lending systems when banks wouldn't touch them, and turned overlooked opportunities into a $100 billion economic force that now moves through Texas like underground rivers. Unseen but everywhere. This is the story of how they did it. The Patel Hotel Empire didn't start with business school strategy or venture capital. It started with necessity and a community that refused to let each other fail. When Chan opened that first motel, he didn't go to a bank. Banks in 1970s Texas weren't interested in lending to brown immigrants with thick accents and no credit history. Instead, he went to his temple. 15 families pooled their savings into what they called a lending circle. Everyone contributed what they could. When one family needed capital to buy a property, the circle funded it. When that property became profitable, they paid it forward to the next family. This wasn't charity, it was a system, one that moved faster and smarter than any traditional bank could. By the early 80s, the network had expanded across Texas. Patels were buying foreclosed motels along Interstate 35, Highway 77, every forgotten corridor where America's highways met its cheapest real estate. They lived in the properties they managed. Their children worked the front desk after school. Every dollar saved went into the next property. It looked like sacrifice from the outside, but they were building something banks couldn't see on a spreadsheet. Generational momentum. By 2000, the Patel network wasn't just buying motels. They were buying Marriott franchises, Holiday Inns, boutique hotels in downtown Austin and Houston. The same families who once shared one-bedroom apartments now owned entire hotel chains. Today, that empire is valued at $24 billion. But the real power isn't in the money. It's in the model they created, a blueprint for turning community into capital that every other Indian family in Texas would follow. Take Swapnil Agarwal, who arrived in Houston at 15 and spent his teenage years in apartments so poorly maintained he could hear rats in the walls at night. He remembers the humiliation of bringing friends home to a building that smelled like sewage and neglect. After college, he worked in real estate finance and watched landlords extract profit from properties they never bothered to fix. He saw the same broken buildings he'd lived in, now filled with other immigrant families who had no choice but to stay. In 2013, with no savings and a newborn daughter, Swapnil started Nitya Capital with a single question. What if you could buy these forgotten properties, actually fix them, and still make money? Banks rejected his first loan application. He was too young, too inexperienced, too risky. So he called a friend from Temple who'd made money in convenience stores. That friend knew another family who'd succeeded in hotels. Together, they funded his first building, a 90-unit complex in a Houston neighborhood banks had written off. Swapnil didn't just renovate it, he reimagined it. New plumbing, clean hallways, management that actually answered the phone. Within 2 years, occupancy went from 60% to 98%. The building's value doubled. He refinanced and bought 3 more, then 12, then 50. Today, Nitya Capital owns 25,000 apartment units across America, valued at over $1.2 billion. Swapnil doesn't just count profit margins. He counts the 25,000 families now living in buildings that don't smell like his childhood nightmares. But not all power in this new Texas comes from real estate. Some of it comes from knowing exactly who to call when it matters most. Sanjeev Yajnik runs Capital One's auto financing division from their Plano headquarters. A job that would make most people wealthy and comfortable. But Sanjeev treated it like a starting point, not a destination. He secured 27 United States patents in financial technology. He joined every board that connected business to policy. And when Governor Greg Abbott needed someone to lead the Texas Economic Development Corporation, someone who understood both corporate America and global markets, he chose Sanjeev. That appointment unlocked something most people never see, the space where government decisions and private capital meet. In 2019, when Abbott wanted to close a multi-billion-dollar trade deal with India, he didn't route it through official channels. He called Sanjeev, who had the right phone numbers saved under names like Uncle and Cousin, the invisible network that makes things happen after press conferences end. Sanjeev's power isn't visible on a Forbes list. It's in the fact that when Texas business leaders need access to the governor's office, and when the governor needs access to international markets, everyone's path runs through the same man. Then there's Jay Chaudhry, who grew up in a village so remote in the Himalayas that he had to cross a rope bridge suspended over a river gorge just to reach school. Every morning, in monsoon rain, in winter ice, he made that crossing because he believed education was the only bridge that mattered. That childhood taught him something most entrepreneurs never learn: patience and precision under conditions where one wrong step means everything falls apart. After earning degrees in America, Jay launched several tech companies through the 90s and early 2000s. But his defining bet came in 2007 when he founded Skylar, a cybersecurity firm built on a single insight everyone else missed. As companies moved their operations to the cloud, the old security model, building firewalls around physical office networks, became obsolete. Jay saw it first. He built software that protected data in motion, not data behind walls. It sounded technical and boring, which is exactly why competitors ignored it until it was too late. Today, nearly every Fortune 500 company runs Skylar's software. Jay is worth $17.9 billion, making him the wealthiest Indian American in the United States. But if you ask him about success, he doesn't talk about the money. He talks about the bridge, how every risk he took in business felt smaller than the risk he took every day as a child, just trying to get to class. What connects these stories is a shared understanding of something Texas's old power structure never quite grasped. This is the empire that exists in plain sight, not loud, not flashy, not interested in your attention, just relentlessly effective, generationally patient, and completely reshaping what power looks like when nobody's performing for cameras. The next time you check into a hotel or log into a secure network, you're not just seeing a business. You're seeing the architecture of influence built by families who understood something timeless. Real power doesn't announce itself. It just owns the ground you're standing on. If this story changed how you see success, hit subscribe. We're uncovering more invisible empires you walk past every day.